Yes, we'll be back from the break. Smart means business. I'm Andrew Barigi, and definitely heading into the last minutes of the show, the last 30 minutes. And of course, grateful from all the way where we started from, of course, breaking down the business. It's definitely the 1st of January, new year, new resolutions. I understand that you had some business strategies that might have not worked out the previous year, but it's high time you actually go for something that really works, because if a strategy doesn't work, try another strategy. Right?
Exactly.
Don't, sometimes we are too religious. We are too
to what we do.
To what we do.
And what we know.
And what we know. We think we know, and learning never ends with business. That's something I've come to realize in quite a very long run. And of course, we understand as at this point in time, on 29th of December, the WOS released statistics relating to inflation. And of course, inflation, which is still standing at 2.6% as of December, the annual headline inflation, which is an increase from November to December by 0.1%.
Okay.
Yes, as we can clearly see. But I understand it is increasing because as of early last year, 2022 December, the inflation was a double digit, 10%.
That is 2022?
2022 December. So we came along, I think starting June, it's when we went below 5. But of course, I'm still grateful to the central bank because it maintained its rate at 10% at some points basis. And yeah, it's having some sort of impact to that. And also the fact that we had a recent deal between UNOC and Vital to be the sole supplier of petroleum products to the different petroleum companies. Because some of this inflation has been driven by fuel costs. Because there has been hyped up. Remember when you wake up and you see fuel yesterday, which was at 550, is now at 530. There's a credit shilling that has been added in. But now with this initiative, there is going to be stability of the prices. Probably we expect the inflation to reduce further. But despite that, I still feel like we shall never get back to the pre-inflation time. Pre-inflation. I mean, I'm talking about if a price of the commodity is at 5,000, it will never go below 4,000. It will either increase by 500 shillings, 100 shillings, but it will never go there. I'm talking about now, that's the pre-inflation levels.
We could go back there.
Okay, I know, but it takes a lot of work and effort, and with eradication of corruption, because it takes money to revive an economy, and if the money gets into the hands of the people that are supposed to distribute it, and they don't distribute it efficiently, well, that calls it off for a dream.
This is why it's a new year and we need new reforms. Meanwhile, we need new reforms, and if they're implemented, then let them be effective.
Let them be effective.
Yes,
absolutely.
Let them be followed.
All right, I think to top that up, the discussion, let's get into the gentleman that is coming in from the Tailors Association of Uganda. He's definitely telling us,
some of the challenges.
Some of the challenges they've been going through, how has inflation treated them, and they definitely have advice to government what should be done.
We believe that if Allah wishes, by the end or beginning of next year, we shall be in a better position to produce as much as you require, and we intend to actually improve too much in the quality and the quantities of the products we make. We believe in prayers. So with your prayers, we are certain that our Tailors City initiative will have its own private and permanent grounds on which to establish it. I've been asked about the tax policies and what have you. For us, as you've always been watching us on several platforms, agitating for the exorbitant taxes that were actually imposed on the items and the commodities that we use in our market. Nothing much has been changed, but we have at least tried as much as possible to adjust, because there's a writer who once said that we cannot do much to change the directions of the wind, but we can always adjust ourselves to reach our destinations safe and clear. So we believe that in the 3 years of challenges and turbulence, we've learned a lot, and we intend to change a lot in whatever we do, positively or actually moderately. We believe that with your support, many things are going to change. We have queries and requests, prayers and what have you. We are asking the government, we've met on several platforms, several ministries and several offices, requesting government to at least give us some incentives like power. We know they can subsidize for us. Subsidizing for us will make sense in a way that, for example, if Ham Enterprises happens to get subsidized electricity, workshop owners like me and others who are benefiting actually from the garments manufacturing, because it's one of the policies that government is pushing for. We are in manufacturing and production, giving employment opportunities to many Ugandans, women, school dropouts, children, and what have you. So we believe that if government happens to support Ms. Chiguno Ham Enterprises by subsidizing on the costs of power that we are consuming from this very building and some other whatever areas around his buildings, we believe that once they subsidize for him, he will also cut some whatever costs that we are incurring right now in terms of power that we consume. You know, technology cannot be implemented, cannot be done without power. So with power, we believe that once government does cuts the costs of power for Ham Enterprises, we shall also benefit positively and at least have a way of saving an extra coin that will initially help us at least implement the Tailored City initiative as we've always been planning for it. We've moved to several offices. We believe that the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation is aware that we are having a project or an initiative that is a Tailored City initiative, not only in Kampala, but in several districts around Kampala and Uganda at large. So our request to the government is, please, as we are moving towards 2024, we believe that maybe the taxes might be at least a little bit lenient to us next year, because you all confirmed that whatever we bring here is actually not sold away, but we are intermediate importers. The Common Exchange tariffs of the East African community stipulated clearly that someone who imports raw materials will be importing at 0%. Someone who is importing intermediate like me who adds value to it will be importing at 10%. And others will be importing at 25%. We are still questioning ourselves, why are we still paying at 35%? You know, it's very unfair. We believe it's not fair, and you also know it's not fair. But since that is how you've chosen to make us work, we have accepted, but we think, we request, we pray that you at least change a bit and at least put the taxes down so that we can at least be in a better position to operate and effectively supply to the Ugandans and the markets around us in fair and lowest prices to be competitive enough, because we are lagging behind the international or imported clothes. Imported garments are lower, ours are higher because the taxes we pay for the materials are high. The costs of production are also high, from transport, the fuel is high, electricity is high, rent is high, each and everything is high. So we believe that if government happens to come out with a policy that is going to help us at least lower the cost of production, we are also certainly promising all the Ugandans that by next year or any other year that will come, we shall be at a very, very, very lower price that will be competitive enough for you people here and those ones around us. First, the government of Uganda to implement the promises that they've made to us. We once met ministries of finance, Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, and they promised to give us subsidized electricity in our operations. Since almost 97% of garment manufacturers in the city are located at Ham shopping grounds, we believe that if government happens to give Ham a chance of a subsidized power supply, we might, or we shall directly benefit from it, because our costs of rent and production will a little bit go higher. So we humbly request the government to engage with ham enterprises, find out how much we consume every month, or annually, quarterly, or half yearly, and at least set a way forward and make us, give us the power at a subsidized amount so that we can directly benefit and lower the costs of production.
All right, that is a gentleman from the Tailors Association Uganda, and I believe the advice the government is pretty listening in and to make sure that it's implemented effectively. Now, getting back to the WOBOS report on 29th of December.
Yeah, so it released this press release about the consumer price indices and inflation as of December 2023. So now they're saying the annual inflation as measured by the consumer price index for Uganda for 12 months to December 2023 is registered at 2.6%.
2.6%.
Same rate registered in the year ended November 2023.
Okay.
So they're telling us that this largely attributed to the annual core inflation that registered 2.3% in the year ending December 2023 compared to 2.0. So there was an increase there, registered in the year ended November. And the challenging bit of it is that this is monthly.
It's monthly.
Monthly.
Okay.
The increase is monthly, not even yearly. Exactly.
Okay.
The main driver to the annual core inflation was the annual services inflation that increased to 3.7% in the year ended December 2023 compared to 2.8% registered in November, that is 2023. Now the increase in the annual services inflation was due to the annual passenger transport by road fares,
transportation and our fares, and of course all those fuel.
So the road fares that increased by 4.3%, and then we also have in the year that is December 2023, then compared to minus 4.4% registered in November, and the annual passenger transport by air fares that registered minus 3.1% in the year ending December 2023 compared to the minus 5.1% registered in the year ended November 2023. So now the annual other goods inflation increased at a slower rate of 1.2% in the year ending December 2023 compared to 1.4% in the year ended November 2023. Now the main drivers are the annual motorcycle prices, which increased by 36.2% in the year ending December 2023 compared to minus 7.2% registered in the year ended November 2023. Yeah, so now they're saying that the prices of increased by 1.3% and compared to minus 1.7% in the year ended November. Now we also moving on to one of the reasons as to why we have this headline inflation is the annual energy, fuel and utilities, that is the EFU inflation, which increased to 6.4% in the year ending December 2023 compared to 4.3% registered in the year ended November 2023. So you could see there is a significant increase of about 2.1, because imagine from 4.3 in November to 6.4 by December.
That's about 2.1.
Yeah, exactly.
That is,
now this was due to the increase in prices of charcoal by 24.7% in December compared to 16.7% in November. Now the petrol prices increased by 0.6% in December compared to minus 3.9% in November 2023. So we could see these are some of the reasons as to why we're having this inflation. And then also one of it, the other reason is attributed to, the annual food, crops and related items inflation increased at a slower rate of 2.5% in the year ending December 2023.
Yeah, that is pretty important. We experienced it with the prices of onions, which really onions became scarce. The tomatoes
themselves.
And I'm thinking a country that is well fed with the best soils
and all that.
Do you realize how neglecting a certain sector, due to corruption-related perspectives, it may not be as a result of, we may not produce to export, I understand, but at least let the food prices be stable in the domestic market. Because they are quite a great key driver.
They really affect.
And there can only be efficient production of food within the country when there is sustainable agriculture, mechanized agriculture. Because most of the farmers can barely produce enough for the city to, because the population in Kampala is too huge.
It should move maybe from subsistence to more of commercial farming.
The commercial perspective. But even I'm talking about, even when we don't have what to export, because I understand that could be a big issue. But let there be enough for the domestic market
for the people,
especially people in the urban areas. Because once there is scarcity of that, and you're battling with food insecurity and economic recovery, that's one of the hardest. Because once people's incomes come in, they are going to be spent on food because it is scarce and it is expensive. So there is no disposable income at all. And that is dangerous if there is no saving. I'm thinking.
You have a point there. So moving on, they're telling us that this, the increase, that is the increase of the, the inflation from 2.5 to 6.4. It was because it was attributed to the increase in the prices of green cabbage by 10.3% in the year ending December 2023 compared to minus 3.3% registered in November 2023. So now they're also talking about the dry beans prices increased by 13.4% in the year ending December 2023 compared to 11.4% in the year ending November 2023. Now also the watermelons. Remember, we really had sagas of watermelons. In some places it was abnormal. A very small watermelon at 20k.
20,000, that's quite
increased by 19.4% in the year ending December 2023 compared to minus 0.1% recorded in the year ended November 2023. So it goes on and on to also tell us about the current prices and all that. So inflation. We really need to address the issue.
With the food inflation, once a population is they call it malnutrition. Definitely, if there is an increase in disease infections because people are not feeding like how they ought to. It's already getting back to healthcare costs. So literally, one sector, it's like a cancer that spreads through all sectors. They're being affected.
Now here I'm looking at the, trying to look at the overall CPI, that is the Consumer Price Index. As of December 2022, it was at 126.38, but now December 2023, it's at 129.67. Then the annual inflation, as of December 2022, it was at 10.2, and then December 2023, it's at 2.6.
2.6?
Yes.
Okay.
So we can see some, significant change right there.
There is a change, but of course, we're uncertain of what 2024 presents.
Would look like.
Because some stakeholders mentioned that 2024 might even call for tighter measures. Things a little bit tight. But of course, we shall yet wait and see.
We shall get.
As a result of that. And of course, vis-a-vis of what we've seen of the global events still, it's known, Uganda literally doesn't fit positive in all, the initiatives. That's what I can say.
So now we're moving on to the, still on our report by UBOS, the monthly inflation. So now the monthly headline inflation for December 2023 increased by 0.1% compared to 0.2% rise recorded in the month of November 2023. So now still talking about the main drivers of, this monthly core inflation that increased by 0.5% in December 2023 compared to 0.3% rise recorded in November 2023. Now this was mainly due to the monthly services inflation that recorded 0.9% rise in December 2023 from from 0.6% rise recorded in November. Now, in addition, other goods inflation recorded 0.2% rise in December 2023 compared to the 0.1% rise recorded in November 2023. So we could move down and look at the monthly headline core food crops and EFU inflation for November 2023 and December 2023. We try to look at both months.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so now looking at the headline inflation, we're seeing that it was in November it was at 0.2, December 0.1.
Okay.
Then the core inflation, it was at 0.3 in November and 0.5 in December. Then we obviously know the causes, which were other goods that contributed 0.1 in November and 0.2 in December. Then services that contributed 0.6 in November and 0.9 in December. So moving on to also the food crops and other related items, inflation. In November it was negative 0.3 and in December it was minus 3.4. So we could see there's an increase.
An increase.
Then energy, fuel and utilities still November 0.4 and 0.7. That is as of December.
Beautiful, beautiful. And definitely that brings us to the end of the show today. Smart Means Business on the 1st of January. Of course, measuring around navigating economic outcomes for the year 2024 and the headwinds and opportunities. Actually, some of these events, they spread opportunities.
Yeah, they do.
And also especially when I take a look at advancements in artificial intelligence, there is an increased chance of us exporting experts.
Yeah.
We've had the business process outsourcing policies where Ugandans actually necessarily don't have to leave Uganda to go there. You can actually work for that country when you're here. So we need to build more on that. And I think that would also be vital to get enough incomes from the people working abroad to spread into the economy, because those incomes that are coming in are not enough. Because
the remittances
are not enough. Why? Because the people that are working in there are not experts. On average, an expert, I'm talking about an expert who's earning about $100,000 vis-a-vis a Ugandan who went to hustle and on monthly maybe is cashing in $4,000. And the money they can make is only to make them survive. So that is quite a huge issue why the remittances are we are not feeling the remittances as how we ought to. But once we train more experts, export them, they bring in back those remittances which are fair and stable. I think our economy will be getting positive. Those are some of the ways, those are some of the opportunities you can actually utilize to be somewhere. Maybe before we wind up, your remarks and your advice for the people when it comes to economic decisions in 2024.
2024, it's a new year. Yeah, the new year is here. 2024 is here. We've all been, very eager. We couldn't wait to, make it to the new year, but then it's here. It has finally come, so it's time for us to up our game. We need to. I always tell. Exactly. We need to plan. Come up with vision boards. People out there, business people, even the other people that are not maybe, but mainly in business, but still people out there, our dear viewers, you need to come up with vision boards. What are some of the things that you want to achieve this year? What are some of the things that you want to get done? The things you put down everything and make sure you work towards that. And then for our government, there are a lot of things we want you guys to do for us, because we need a lot. We need, first of all, aid, like help. They need to give the young people a push. There are many more reforms that we need. We need to see something being done.
I'm going to catch you a little bit on aid. I was asking myself, do the people, the Ugandans who don't have what to invest in, do they need aid or they need knowledge, financial intelligence?
I would say both.
Because if you give them money, they need both, but I think one should come faster.
You first educate them and equip them. Exactly.
Because now, if I tell you on average, pick up somebody random on the streets, tell them to develop a business plan. Do they know what they want to do?
No.
Okay, you don't have to develop a business plan because that's because then you can have a business plan and you can't put it in action. But do they have the realistic view on how to invest? Because that means you need to have what we call financial intelligence. They need to understand how different dynamics in an economy function, how different markets in the economy relate with each other. I think that's the education I think they really need.
Yeah, and now
then they get the aim.
Thank God we now have our phones.
Our phones.
Yeah, all the financial knowledge that you need. You know, you can get financial literate through your phone. You educate yourself, equip your There are apps and programs, you know, in our phones that you can learn. Learn how to spend, learn how to, you know, how to manage your finances. All these things, you can get them online. So people out there, you don't need to wait for the government to, you know, come and be like, okay, today we are teaching people in this area how to handle finances. No. By the time they come to you, show them that you have something.
Probably they just need guidance to know what they need to know.
Exactly.
And
but by the time they come to you, show them that you actually you have an idea of what you want. But so that is all I can say for now. I wish you a very prosperous 2024, and we do hope for the best.
All right, Smart Means Business is definitely going to be driving business the entire 2024. Been on to region with Enid and Kunda. Till tomorrow, good morning.